Well, good afternoon, magandang hapon, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today is a continuation of the last episode. We probably call this part 2 of the upgrade to the Motion Computing J3500 tablet. And if you remember in the last episode, what we did is we doubled the amount of memory inside here. We went from 4 gig to 8 gigabytes, even though the manufacturer says the maximum that you can do is 4 gigabytes. But with a little bit of research and a little bit of common sense, we realized that we could actually upgrade this and make it work with more memory. Now, the memory isn't going to do much for us as far as performance if we don't use a lot of the resources. So we knew from the very beginning that one of our biggest performance enhancements was to upgrade the old spinning hard disk drive inside and go with a more efficient, quicker, faster static SSD drive inside here. So that's what we are going to do today. Well, let's go ahead and get into today's episode, get started, and I'll show you all the details that we're going to try to attempt to get this thing into a faster, more efficient working tablet. So without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Now, before we get started, let me show you a few of the things that I purchased today to hopefully make this a successful transition to an SSD card. Now, of course, I purchased the SSD card itself. Now, this is a Zheino SSD 256 gigabyte mSATA. mSATA is very easy to purchase. You can get this on Amazon.com, you can get it on eBay, you can get it at computer stores. So this was very easy to get. What is installed, the interface that's installed on the J3500 is a mSATA. So we're going to need some way to convert this card right here, and let's go ahead and take a look at this. But we're going to need a way to convert this mSATA over to a mSATA interface to be able to connect it inside. So when we open up the Zheino, the Zheino SSD card looks like this right here. So this is the card, and it is a full-size SSD mSATA card right here. This is the front where the chips are, and this is the board on the back. And if you look, this is the interface right here for mSATA. So I'm going to show you in just a minute, because I said I would clarify. I want to show you the difference between the mSATA and the mSATA interface. They're not the same as far as the pins are, but a lot of the connections can be converted over using a specific interface card, which is this right here. So this is going to be our mSATA to mSATA adapter right here. This connection right here, this is mSATA, and this connection in here is mSATA. So basically what we're going to do, once we pull out the hard disk drive inside, we're going to go ahead and put this one, correct way, connected inside, and we will slide it inside of here. And there are 2 screws. I'll show you in just a minute. There are 2, well, they're actually here. We'll take these 2 screws off of this section right here. We will secure this to here, and then we will connect this. We'll remove the old drive, and we will connect this new adapter to the mSATA interface inside the computer. Now, what I did, you saw these packages were open, especially this one right here for the mSATA SSD card. And the reason this was open is because I already put the entire operating system and all the data is already on here. And you're wondering, James, how did you do that? Well, what I did, I bought another little handy device, and this is USB to the mSATA, the mSATA right here. So basically, you can take this card right here, you can insert your mSATA here, and the 2 screws right there will hold us down as well. You can plug this USB into the side of the tablet or the laptop or the computer, and you can use an application. And I'll talk about the application, the software that I used in just a moment, to be able to transfer everything on there, basically clone everything on the tablet to the mSATA card right here. We'll talk about that at the end of today's episode. Let's go ahead right now and take apart the Motion Computing and the J3500, and let's go ahead and install this on our adapter card, our USATA to mSATA, and let's take out the old drive, install this, and see if all of this works. Now I'm going to go ahead and take apart the Motion Computing J3500 tablet to access the area that we need to be able to do this upgrade. I am not going to put all the details in today's episode because I already did this in the last episode. So if you are joining us here for the first time and only interested in upgrading the SSD card inside here and would like to know how to access all the internal components inside this tablet, please go to the last episode and I will put a link at the end of today's video. Right, now that we've got the cover taken off, we're inside and this is flipped over. Remember in the last episode we replaced the RAM inside underneath this cover right here. Now this is the hard disk drive right here, and here it says HDD/SSD. Now the SSD, it could have been an upgrade if you would have purchased it like that through Motion Computing when they were manufacturing this. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and pull out this device right here. Now you see this connection right here. This connection runs over a ribbon cable to the back side here, which is a USATA connector right here. So we are going to use the existing USATA connector, remove this hard drive, and then go ahead and put our SSD inside here, replacing this spinning drive right here. So let's start by removing this retaining bracket inside here that holds the hard disk drive in place. There are two screws inside here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove this little connector here, so I have the ability to be able to work with this hard drive case. Alright, so there we go. Now this is the connection right here. Now you can also order a ribbon cable that goes from here and goes directly to the adapter cable, the adapter plate that I have over there. I was not able to find that part number anywhere, and that's another option that you have, is going directly from this over to the USATA adapter. Now basically what we're going to do, I'm going to install the SSD card on the USATA to mSATA adapter right here. Then we're going to take this hard disk drive out of here and we're going to see if we can make this fit inside this chassis right here. I'm not sure, I haven't done this before, but who knows until you try. Now it appears this cradle is just some flexible rubber that we can use to pull off around the existing hard drive. So let's see how this works. Alright, now this is our old SSD hard drive. We're going to discard this over to the side or save it in case this doesn't work properly, and we can come back to it. So now what we are going to do, we are going to swap out, basically we're going to change, and we are going to put the new mSATA to USATA adapter with the new mSATA SSD in place, and we'll try to make this fit back inside the case. So now, using the existing chassis bumper here, we don't really have a lot of stability once we try to put it back inside the computer itself. You'll see when we set it inside here, and we will put, of course, this cover on. But even with the cover on there, this is still going to be loose inside here because the cover just basically is supporting, where is it? It's mainly supporting this drive right here and not this SSD. So now there's a little bit of space underneath the bottom of this. So if you put it in now, it's going to wobble just like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use one of these. It's like a Kaiser pad. It's like what you use to line your toolbox. It's non-conductive. And I'm going to put a little piece right inside there. I think what I'll do is I'll put just a little bit of adhesive on here, put it right here, and then what we'll do is we'll place this right on top of it and we'll secure it down so it doesn't bounce around in there. Alright, and then we'll put our securing plate back on top of the adapter and the new drive. Oh, and that feels good. That feels secure in place. So it's basically put everything back together again, and then we'll boot up and we'll look inside the BIOS. We'll see if it recognizes the new drive, and then we'll see if it will actually boot from it. Again, the software, I set it up for this to be a boot drive as well, so it should see everything on the index. So let me go ahead and get everything put back together again. All right, now that the tablet is all put back together, what we are going to do, we're going to do some tests. First of all, we're going to test it. We're going to see if it recognizes the 256 gig inside. We're going to go into BIOS and take a look at that. Then what we're going to do a boot up and see, we're going to time the boot up. Remember how we tested it last time when we went from 4 gig to 8 gig? We want to see what type of a difference. Did it improve our boot up time to be able to actually get into an application and do work? And if I remember correctly, I'm going to go back and look at the screen captures, but it seemed like it was about 1 minute and 43 seconds is what it took under the 4 gig, that with no upgrade at all. 1 minute and 43 seconds. That was pretty bad. Then when we put the 8 gig of memory, we doubled the memory inside there. It a small, very slight improvement. We went from 1 minute 43, and I'm going to say to around 1 minute 21 or something like that. We shaved around 20 seconds by using doubling up on the memory, improving the performance. Very small amount of gain. So let's see now. First, again, let's go look at the BIOS to see if it recognizes it, and let's see how much time it actually takes if we did get a good boost in performance to be able to boot up, log in, and get into an application. Okay, now it's time to do our test. We are going to do a boot up just like we did previously in the previous video, and we're going to go from boot all the way into a web browser, and we'll see how long that takes. Remember, 144 plus, 1 minute and 44 seconds plus, with no upgrade, adding the memory sticks inside. They're going from 4 gig to 8 gigabytes. We shaved off about a little over 20 seconds to a little over 1 minute and 22 seconds. Let's go ahead and test it now, swapping out the hard disk drive for the SSD drive. Let's see how that works. All right, now we can type, we can do whatever we want to inside Google right here. We can move. Anyway, this is great. So you can see from the stopwatch over here, we shaved off from the original over 1 minute of boot up. So we can actually do operations in less than 30 seconds from turning on the tablet here. So I can honestly say this is success. Moving from this old spinning hard disk drive and moving over to the new SSD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a follow-up here. I'm going to do a wrap-up. We'll talk a little bit about what we did, a little bit about the software that I used to clone, and I will leave some links for you if you're interested in picking up the same hardware that I picked up for this upgrade. Now, as promised, I am going to do a summary of what we did today and talk to you about cost and talk to you about where you can get these items. Actually, where you're going to get them, you'll see in the description block below today's video. So anyway, what did we do? We transferred our operating system and data, everything. We cloned, well, we didn't do it. I did it previously, but this is how I did it. And I'll talk to you about the software that I used as well. Using this little device that I picked up right here. And this I got on Amazon.com, and it's USB to mSATA. And this is what we put the mSATA card inside here that we also purchased on Amazon.com. The Zheino SSD 256 gigabit. And we transferred the data using a program called, the program is called EaseUS to do backup. I had to look down on my little cheat sheet here. EaseUS to do backup. And that program is free. It is free for doing personal backups on the same computer, going back to the same computer. They also offer other ones if you want to clone for multiple computers that are not on the same hardware base. And you can purchase that if you want to, but for free. You can't beat it. It doesn't cost anything. And it's very simple. It's very intuitive. You basically do a clone. You copy everything over, and then when you load the new drive back inside there, it doesn't know any different from the old drive to the new drive. So that's what we did there. We also installed the new SSD card and an SSD adapter, a USATA to mSATA adapter. So the total cost, let me look down here. The total cost for the this device right here was $10 on Amazon.com. The mSATA, mSATA to USATA adapter I got on eBay, and it cost me like $3.88. It was less than $4 for that. And then the SSD drive, this one right here, was the most expensive of all. Of course, it's a hard drive. Well, it's actually an SSD. It's a static drive. And this one for 256 gigabit, it cost me approximately $41. So the whole everything put together was around $55 for this entire upgrade. And we cut our time down 2/3. We went from originally the 1 minute, what did I say? 1 minute and 40 something seconds down to less than 30 seconds. Less than 36 seconds. So it is indeed a worthwhile upgrade that didn't cost very much. It didn't take very much time as well. You saw how quick that was done. So that's it for today's video. I'm going to go real quick, check inside. I know Nessa's cooking up some really good dinner for us tonight. Anyway, that's about it for today's episode. Nessa's here. She's cooking inside. She's slaving away at the stove here, making dinner for us tonight. Now, if you enjoyed today's video and you are looking for some details, I am going to leave inside the description block below the source of supply for all of the upgrade items that I used in today's video. Also, I have a shout out. I have a shout out for Hopone and Mary Ann because they last week they became grandparents. Hopone and Mary Ann, our dogs at Villa Felice. For those of you who follow all of our episodes and you're part of the Villa Felice family, the My PI Dream family here. Well, anyway, one of our puppies that was given away early on from Marianne and Hopone a little over a year ago is Sean Pascali. And Sean picked up one of the dogs and he named one of the pups Flavor. And Flavor is like on a rescue team. He's gone through all this kind of training and things like that. Well, anyway, Flavor is a little over a year old right now, and he's already started a family of his own. And Sean wanted to make sure that we got that on today's video as well. So anyway, congratulations, Flavor, and I don't think Marianne Hopone.
Puppies! Oh my God!
I didn't think. Maybe I'll put a couple pictures in today's when I'm doing the final editing today. But anyway, that's the first that I know of, the first grand pups of Marianne and Hopone. So anyway, what else? Don't forget, it's around 4 weeks. It's about 1 month before we are back at Villa Felice. Continue on with projects around the house. There we have a lot of projects. I'm sending a lot of material and tools and things like that in bulk buying boxes to get started when I get back home to the house. There we have cabinetry that we have to do in the wardrobes on the first and second floor. I don't know about the fish pond yet because that's going to be a major task on its own. But we still have to do a little bit more yard landscaping. We have some neat stuff that's going to be going on in the driveway on the retaining wall. Hey, what are you cooking here, by the way?
Tonkatsu.
Oh, tonkatsu. Oh, it's like pork in this pork chop pieces inside bread. It's one of my favorite. Breaded, and you dip it inside.
It's a Japanese.
Yeah, and inside a kind of sauce. It's like
tonkatsu sauce.
Tonkatsu sauce, sort of like Worcestershire sauce, kind of like. Anyway, I'm going to close for today. Like I said, I will put all that information inside the description block today for all the stuff that I did today. And at the very end, if you want some links after the closing credits, we'll have some links to the last episode that we did for doing the memory upgrade. And if you're interested in these type of DIY type projects, we'll put some links there as well. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and please share. And if you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream heart in the bottom right hand side of your screen. You'll be subscribed and you'll be notified the next time we upload a new video. So until such time, you have a wonderful and blessed day. If you enjoyed today's episode and you would like to see more just like these, just click on one of the helpful links over to your right and you might be able to pick up on some good information on DIY projects, how to, or if you are interested in moving to the Philippines and building, you'll find answers there as well.